arts, entertainment and lifestyle. ChaKra TV. It never ends.
Hello and welcome to SimpleTalks on ChaKra TV. Now on the show today I have with me Benji Ranabahu. Benji, welcome to the show. Pleasure having you on the show with me today.
Thank you for coming.
Okay. Take us back to your start. How did you get into music?
Actually, it was early 70s because before until 69 I was schooling.
Where did you school?
St. Benedict's College. And then I was actually soccer player. I used to play football, goalkeeper. And then
Slowly.
automatically
You come
I
from
like,
a musical background? Or?
a little bit, not really.
Okay.
And I used to like play the uke. It had only 4 strings. So since then I've been, my uncle used to teach me. I got used to 4 strings because I don't read music or anything. I played a little bit of piano at that time.
So why, like, was there any reason? Was there any inspiration behind it?
Yeah, because I love
Just
music.
loved music.
Yeah, and my friends, schoolmates like Donald Pellis, drummer from March, he and Tony Di Silva, we were from the same area, Colombo, 15, 14. So we used to get together at our place, and the 3 of us, we started trying to do something and play music.
So what was the first band you formed?
We were actually, like, say, in Mutwal, there were bands like Rhythmias, the Junior Rhythmias and Dreamers and bands like that. We used to follow them and we used to like to play music. So Tony was really interested. Tony used to dance and then Donald was there. That's how we got together. But we always used to play for a while and then used to play with someone else or someone who was a bit popular and have fun with them. But ultimately, after all these things, we knew that we should do something together. We got together, and that's how Amazing Grace came after a period of time, because we had other bands, like I played with the Pioneers, Disney, and the Clans for a while, then the Soundwaves with Anthony
So the first band is Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace was at Benji Ranabahu, that is at Bombay studio. Tony the one who got the contact, and then Joey Lewis is the one who got the name Amazing Grace. Tony, Donald and me. And we started from that monthly.
Okay.
Then Joey, he left. Then Rodney Robert came. And after Rodney, we had Rizadin who carried on with Tony.
So then,
Until then.
from Amazing Grace to Mirage, is it?
No, from Amazing Grace, we again, like say...
Took a break.
Took a break, yeah. As like what I'm doing right now with Aquarius. And then Amazing Grace was playing, and then we got this foreign contacts coming up. Then Amazing Grace got a chance. Then I got a chance to join Raj and Priyanka at that time. Yes, Priyanka and Raja was the Spitfire stool. Then they wanted band. Then I asked Donald, and that's how it became. Donald came, Aisha Makala, Lankan, Connie Buddha, came. We formed this band. Raja formed a band Lotus, and we toured a lot. And after that tour, we came back again and we formed because Raja and Petu were still there. They were into band. We played as Aquarius, and we had contacts going in Colombo at GOH at and that's where this foreign agent came from abroad. His name was Peter Bulla for Ugra Productions in Switzerland, and then we started touring. But Donald joined Grace, not Amazing Grace, and then we went as Orpheus, but for a while. And then there also we switched on band because first initial contract was for 2 years. But coming to Sri Lanka, and we were mostly based abroad.
Speaking of which, you had a very long assignment back in, I think, Abu Dhabi with Aquarius. Dubai.
Dubai, yeah.
Let's talk about the Aquarius, the formation of the band Aquarius.
Aquarius came in. Then after that, I thought we'd form band These guys got together like, no, before that was Mirage. How we found Mirage is when we were touring Europe. Like there were bands like the Clan, then the Grace, then Golden Chimes, Super, that's Super. Two members of each band we got together and then we found Mirage. That is
Melanta.
Donald, two of them are home, Kumar, myself, and Kana. So then we found that only I branched off to Aquarius.
Aquarius is your band.
Yeah.
Okay. How did that come about? When did it come about?
It was 90s. I got a young band lineup and they're all good. They're doing really well. They did Sanji and those boys. Then by the time we got together with Shilan, the band that toured a lot was this band, Shilan, Giant, the bunch was from Candy, as a Aquarius, myself, and we had the
Original
Filipino
lineup.
singers, yeah, we had a lot of singers, the Filipino singers, so this we combined together, and we were in Doha for a long time, in Dubai. So then they came to Sri Lanka and they played at Galadari, that is Margarita, and then at the Hilton, also at Mount. But we couldn't keep them because they were foreigners and they couldn't work there.
That was going to be my next question now. You can't keep a straight line up for a long time. You see that in most of the bands in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, but there are some certain bands like if you take Experiments or Rajsters, there are various, but the thing is the work. Like we were more into nightclub and that type of work. They are just more a bit different than the weddings here and other private gigs, especially dances. But today we don't have anything of that.
Yeah.
That's the situation. And right now, because of the current situation, it's hard for a band to get kind of regular work. It can be pubs or something like that, and no one will be able to pay that amount of money, and it's too much of cost, and like say for the sound and for traveling and for everything. And today it's not possible at all.
Not possible at all. With all the scenarios that's happening around us, how do you see the music industry has evolved right now from how you started back in the 70s?
70s is very interesting, 80s interesting, 90s interesting, and it came by little when we had all this modern equipment and everything, which was also interesting and you learn a lot. And now if you take our generation, we did everything live, like say there's a 4-piece band and if you're going to play in clubs at that time, we used to compete with bands of other countries, a lot of countries, it's multinational kind of not a competition, but playing from, because if you don't, you have to play 2 weeks in a club there and change, and there are bands and good bands. And if you are not up to that, can't keep up with that, and the crowd is, like say, dropping, within 3 days you're out and then you don't have it. So we are always, now if you take 4 people playing for a band, you get the drummer, you get the keyboard player, guitarist, and bass guitarist. So although we play one instrument, we try to play 2 at the same time, like Mirage had that a lot, rotating and playing, and that was the kind of a show. You see one person playing, like say if you see Donald playing drums and he goes and plays the bass guitar, and everyone where is the singer, and they all used to sing. I didn't sing so much because I was trying to do as much as I can, more on the show side of it. So it was interesting, but today we have all these gadgets and equipment like you see inside, we can. And today, the younger generation is very good, I must say, talented. But things I don't see them sticking together for a period of time. They do their composition, which is good. They know their music well. Everything is on YouTube. They can hear it. Other times we used to go into the radio, like say, put our ears to guitar parts. That was very interesting.
You think that's because there are more people into it or more competition? What do you think the reason?
No, not really.
The culture has changed.
Yeah, it has changed. The times have changed. Like say, today if someone wants to buy a guitar, We just see what he likes to buy. But the problem is the quality of that guitar. We used to have the best at that time. Today we can't get the best like that. Today we get things, the imitation of that or something like that. And there's no.
So, why you're known as the number one bassist in Sri Lanka? Let's just put the number one part aside, but
Yeah.
bassist.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So
very
why the bass guitar?
Because I love that. With that I do a lot of fun and have.
Was that the only instrument you play? Or
I used to play a little bit of keyboards.
okay.
And I like percussion also. Like say play one with one hand bass and then play the conga or something and run about with the guitar. Always wireless. I didn't like this kind of connecting things. I like to be wireless so that I can do and they used to say, where's Ben? Benji's not there, he's not playing the guitar, he's playing the fool there and playback. So that is fun for me. Very interesting.
You still play the guitar, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the current situation of the band Aquarius.
Right now we had good band here. At least not a lot of work, but enough for the weekend.
Yeah.
Problem is the income is not enough. Like for sound and for the boys and go there and come back again here, it's all over. So that is also okay, but there was some in the band who are married, they had to look after their families and it was not enough and we were not having foreign contracts after Corona came in. So then they asked and then they said, it's like this, I'm getting a chance to do it. And because Maldives and all had openings for duos. And that's good money. So I said, no problem, we'll see what happens. If sometime I have work, we can meet and in Colombo then I had another lineup. Because having everything here, it's difficult for them to come for practice with the situation. Practice online and I don't much like that. I like to be together, practice because they had everything here. But when you look at their side also they have a point. It's like today when the students, like the children studying, they say they study online but how it's been cut, they can't do this, that and all and you can't get the time to get the time here.
So how do you see the, now see for example we had 30 years long ago and then we had the tsunami, pandemics and Easter bombings and now the current situation in the country. With all of that the music industry has survived somehow. So how do you, I mean you have survived through it, I know. So how do you see it? What are your thoughts on that?
It's a bit sad because we can't do what we want really, but our musicians, the Western musicians also are trying to do, they are doing their very best, like thanks to Western Musicians Association. They are doing and now they are having a show soon. So they also do their best. And with this, like say, now I've seen some, they do their own songs, like those things are coming in nowadays, their own songs, compositions and things like that. Now we do. Actually, Sunil Pereira is a big loss for us, although he increased here and there are a lot more like that.
And you think that it gave a time for them to relax and come up with their own songs, which they didn't do back then?
That's a point. Because now everyone is like say then
they have more time.
They can't do anything out, but they can do it in and they find a way of doing it even if.
So with all these things happening in the country, the survival, that's the game. So what can you tell us? What are your experience?
It's great. Now at the moment that's what I'm doing. Although I'm taking it easy, I have a lot of plans for the end of this year because I had a lot of plans for July, month of July. Because I'm coming to my I had plans for my 69th. Trying to call it summer 69 and I would be blessed. Unfortunately, it's sad to say I lost my mother, I lost my aunt and all these things. It's just one. So this time, also it's the same situation because we can't have anything big. So I'm really targeting the months of October, November, December. It's not here abroad. So I'm going to say about something.
How hard it is to, for a professional musician in Sri Lanka to make a living out of music? Or is it hard?
It's hard. And if he's a bachelor, if he's alone, maybe he can. But if he has a family, today there's not much money coming into our.
Before the pandemic, let's compare that.
And foreign contracts was a lot good. Like say we used to always travel abroad, even for a week. paid well. And even hotels used to get all our, no, even my bands, the hotel, like say, thanks to the Kaladari Hotel and the management there, and all, we used to do our job, but very hard work. We used to stay, we were given rooms, we used to be given food, also the Hilton, and other hotels like Mount Elgin Hotel and other places, the Taj.
Don't forget to subscribe ChaKra TV, and we're in conversation with the great Benji Ranabahu. Benji, let's talk about music, original music and cover-up songs. Your thoughts?
Yeah, okay, original comes number one, and if it's done and if it's been, but there are good musicians and singers who will try to teach and say, make those little bit of things correct. Cover songs, of course, I used to copy a lot, trying to get the same thing, which even some of my musicians said, Benji, now you've been doing it for the last maybe 50 years or whatever it is. Why not do play something of your own and say, yeah, if I play it or if I try to do it today, tomorrow, when we're going for practices, I'll have forgotten what I did yesterday and I'll be coming up with something else. So that is, if you take jazz, which I love, but I didn't do, it's superb. Like you can play your own solos and all, because you're a bass guitarist. It's something not like a lead guitarist. So that I lacked on that part of it.
Any plans to do originals, or not gonna do it at all?
Maybe if there's someone who asks me and say, we have some songs, we have done some songs, come and play, put your ideas and see how it goes, and we'll see how it goes. Of course, yes.
So how do you see this comparison between the Oriental market and the Western market in Sri Lanka, especially when it comes to bands?
Because today's music, most of the Oriental bands, they have more shows and they get more paid, all those things. If you take Western band, it's not easy here. If it was abroad, yes. But here also, yes, you can maintain that. But today, like say, if we have to pay for a wedding, now I don't know now the situation because I didn't play, so I can't talk about it. Like those days we had, like even for a dance, we start with slow songs and so many beautiful things coming up and getting to a climb. And then afterwards, you on top. But today they'll always want similar songs, and but today's similar was is superb. Because I see these bands who play songs like Babu and bands like that, and I really follow them, and their musical side of it is superb. I copy them.
So there you go. Benji is copying Vayo.
Of course, a lot of bands like that, a lot of bands.
Speaking of which, I'm going to put you on the spot now. So who do you consider as a number one band in the Western market?
In Sri Lanka, you mean? This is a hard question to answer because
let's say musically, like if you take a band like Misty, then if you take now the Gypsies, because but still they are and Sohan, and then I've seen other bands like say if you take Mirage, whoever went from the band was not a loss for them. Donald somehow keeps it going, he will somehow get to it, and today they are getting back there. So why not Aquarius?
Aquarius, if we had a band, I would have let it go. I would have somehow tried to get something, and but
Benji is known to take these breaks too often. That's what everybody says. Any reason behind it, or it's just you?
No, it depends. If I feel the band is not just because we have work, we don't have the body. Practices are left aside. I like to get, although I like to be a person who could get perfectly well, but I not be able to do it. But I feel when it's like they are getting a bit back from what they have to do, and like see if we have practices not being there, we have everything what we want to. Now we used to practice here from 10 to 4 in the evening, and not every day, say like 2 or 3 days a week. That is if we have work. When we don't have work, then it's a problem to play for home. And we are just coming for practice, although they have everything here. So I thought it's better again take a break, come back.
So how hard it is to run a band professionally and make a living out of it?
Very hard. You have to see to them first and then.
Is it to do with I mean, in a band you get different people and different people on different frequencies. Is it to do with the management of the people, or they don't come together as a band with one goal?
No, they do all. Now, when we had a previous band, Shiran, he used to take a lot of time in trying to get the parts and give the parts and see that the band practices. Then, if you take Lanka in US, and now if I take Donald, his job is also he has practices. He'll be having a set at home and he'll be practicing. If you go in and walk, you see about 4 or 5 days guitars here, different. So like if I listen to a song, I'll try to get that type of sound of that song. But you can't get it when you go onto stage because the amplifiers and everything is changed. So you take a long time to that.
Who did you take your inspiration from when you started music? Locally or internationally? Was there any inspiration?
Yeah, Savage. I love that band. And then Spitfires, the Jetliners.
Any international artists that you like to follow?
Yeah, like we saw bands when we were in Europe. We saw a lot of bands. And like I love to play style that Martin played, level 42, and I still play that style. Although there are a lot of other bands like that. And like say Queen and live shows like Michael Jackson's and
so out of all this experience being in the music industry, what can you tell me about, if I ask you a number one memory, something that is on top of your mind? I'm sure there's a lot, but if there's anything that is like, in your mind forever, what would it be? Too hard. I should have given you the question earlier. Any worst scenarios that you can think of?
Yeah.
Yeah? That you can remember?
Yeah. I remember when we were kicked out after 3 days. Yeah, in Germany.
Okay. What was the story?
The story was like maybe the band didn't sound that good, which the band before that had previously played.
Okay.
So they were given 3 days, and after, but our manager, he pays because the type of music that at that time they wanted was they give this music called foxtrot music, and they all come in. But our friends were there. Although we were put out after 3 days, we got work before the 2 weeks ended. Because we got another job, but those days were holidays. So we had time to visit all our friends being there. But like say after 3 days when I've been put out, it's a bit.
That's your worst experience. Can be considered as worst experience.
Of course, yes.
Any worst experience here that you experienced in Sri Lanka while performing? Too many to mention?
No. Like say there are guys those days we used to play with Miraj and Amazing Grace is the place where we started. Like the stage and all, it's kind of quite high. And those days when like say we do the sound from Van Halen jump. They always wait till I jump from up. Sometimes at that time I
really
jump right down, and that day I had jumped and this was on my body down there and at that stage I don't know what to see and the guitar was on me and now over the guitar the other guys. So like I couldn't even play that guitar.
And the guys on top of you?
Yeah, and because to get back to stage I had to again walk right down to go back to stage, and at that time when I went my VIS everything out because it was receiver center. So it's fun like that. So what I do is and also on my guitar I try to get the lights on it so that I can change and try to get send fire from the guitar, and at that time I had brought these kind of things. So it was kind of fun standing on tables and playing it with the crowd and like entertaining,
live. And what is Benji known for in the trade apart from being a bassist?
That I can't tell you. But I go and get it. Go get it.
Yeah.
If I get somehow.
Where was the last time you performed? This year?
This year, Show by You.
I mean, you had a contract there for long time,
but now
right?
it's closed.
Yeah.
I think
The
whole
condition.
Yeah, that's the thing. There were clubs that we played, and after that, unfortunately.
So, what do you think is going to happen? I know it's going to be a very hard question to answer.
No. Things will be all right. The only thing is, I pray for that to happen for all of us. Like, say, there's nothing else that we could see. If you today now say, although it's today's Monday, like it's like a
dead Monday.
Monday.
How was the weekend? I mean, you have experienced it much more than us.
This weekend,
Yeah.
you mean the last
I
weekend?
mean,
For
the
me,
weekends
it was a
after
little
this
bit.
started.
No, but now there are bands playing. Not that there are no bands playing. Not bands, maybe duos or bands, and now
Yeah.
there are bands playing at places like so many pubs and places are open. So there are people coming in. And the crowds going out is a little less and because of the better situation. So they can't.
What do you think about the support from the government for entertainment in Sri Lanka? Especially let's talk about the Western music industry.
I don't see any support.
Any reason?
I don't know. But I think, like say, we are proud to, when we play out in another country, saying that we are Sri Lankans and like,
Get more recognition.
yeah,
than here.
and also they recognize.
So what is the WMA doing, if you can speak on behalf of them? What are they doing in situations like this?
They are doing a great job. I'm not much involved with it, but
Okay.
I'm with them.
Okay. And you were telling me about the concert that they're planning to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
also.
that's what I said, yeah.
I remember there was one back in March.
Yeah, they're having another one. So,
Wrapping things up, Benji, would like to ask you, what can you tell us, any advice or words of wisdom after being in the trade for long years? What can you tell our young people who's upcoming?
okay, for the younger generation.
Young generation.
Speaking words of wisdom, okay. Like how we started, like if we get advice from the senior musician, trying to teach or say that, yes, like say, presenting the song, or this is what you need, or this is what you have to do, or just look after this part of it. You are doing it well. They should listen to them, not just take that and just think that, okay, we are doing it, I have my friends, your younger generation, our generation, they're supporting. They are too old to teach us what to do. Their time has gone. That has happened a lot.
Yeah.
So if they also have a little time to give ear for that and see why did he say such a thing, I think that's a good kind of knowledge for a younger musician to have it in him and do and look after that.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of good musicians, they're very good, but there are certain things that they have.
But they lose out because they don't have proper guidance, I think.
Yeah, and also the musicians who are talking to them and saying would be musicians with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And they can actually, anyone needs a coach.
Yeah.
Even the best batsman or the best boxer or the best whoever.
You need to practice.
Even still I learn, still I make mistakes. Still I like to see why did he say, okay fine, you play the chord and I'm playing a note and that note is not the correct note. Then I will check and I will try to see why he said that. But when I see my note is right. But what he said was for the chord. Now if a bass guitarist plays, he's playing just one note. But there are so many notes that will go with that chord. So that it blends together and it sounds good to your ear.
Yeah.
So that's what I think I should say to younger generation.
So there you go. Thanks so much, Benji, for joining with me on the show.
Thanks a lot for
Let's
inviting
meet up
me
soon.
on your show.
Right. Don't forget to subscribe ChaKra TV and we'll talk to you again soon. Until then, you have a safe and good one.